Welcome guys. It's Scott here from Woke Societies, here to drop another awesome episode for you. So tonight we are just basically going to be looking at a lot more Q posts because Q has posted the most I've ever seen within a week ever. So they dropped probably about 20 more posts since the last time I actually did a video with you guys. I'm going to tie all that into some news articles that they've referenced and some that I found myself with some of my own research, and then we're going to cap it off with some R. Kelly. If you guys haven't heard, R. Kelly was arrested today, and he actually got arrested right in front of Trump Towers, which I thought was ironic, but I don't think these are coincidences, but that happened. We're going to talk a little about UFOs at the end of this, which is going to be interesting. UFOs and Navy. We know Q talks about space programs outside the public domain, so I'm going to drop a little bit of that in there. And then we're going to talk about this vessel that was seized by Border Customs in Philadelphia that had I think worth $2 billion worth of cocaine. And again, that vessel was owned by JP Morgan Chase. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk mostly Q today again. And we're going to jump right into this because we have a lot of content to cover. So the first post I'm going to be looking at here is 3396. And it reads, Bill Clinton RC Epstein plane pic. You guys saw that in the last episode with Bill Clinton with his arm around Rachel Chandler on the Lolita Express. Did the FBI DOJ interview RC? They have. When did public awareness grow across social media? Class 1-99, that means classified. What age is RC in picture? Under the age of 18. And that's a question. They answer it, 15. Who posted the picture? RC. Who posted internal security cam pics of the temple? Instagram, which we're going to see again. Untouchable mindset by all involved. Blackmail, power, top-down protection. Plane plus temple plus XYZ pics equals witness. Witnesses plus class 1-99. Why did RC start form a modeling talent agency? Why was RC/Epstein and the M temple highlighted in the past? Dark to light, these people are sick. So again guys, Q is really nailing home this Bill Clinton Rachel Chandler connection. And Q asks a question here, says, why did Rachel Chandler start from a modeling/talent agency? The question to this guys is, when you go to Hollywood, this is where these people are checked out. They're pretty much vetted by the deep state and these sick fucking people to see if they can get them within their satanic cult pedophile ring. And that's why it's asking this here. So we're gonna keep going, and what we got here, we're going into Bill Maher. Now usually when Q posts, Bill Maher makes an absolute joke of it. You can see right here, there's a picture of Bill Maher in one of his episodes with a hoodie on, with a laptop, and obviously you can see the word Q. And again, it just makes me laugh, because if Q was such a hoax and it was fake, why is there so much media attention focused from Hollywood actors to people like Bill Maher on these late night shows and the mainstream media that attack Q on a consistent basis? If it was nonsense, why would they even give Q the attention that they are giving it? So I always just wonder that. But Q has posted not so funny now, and we go up here, and if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna pull up this picture. Bill Maher owns a production company, and it's actually called Kid Love. It's a little weird, right? So they go into his production company, some of the films that he produced with this company, and if you look, you're going to see some of the things that he has quoted saying, and here are some of it. The worst, they said, Michael Jackson, did was a little grabby under the covers. If I could go back and trade that experience, being beat up at age 12 for being gently masturbated by a pop star, I would do it in a New York second. And here's another one. She's in jail because she is in love. That's how I view it. Maher said this about a Seattle school teacher convicted of having sex with a 12-year-old student and getting pregnant by him. And the other one we have here says, but with Deborah, Lefebvre screwing her 14-year-old boy student. The crime is that we didn't get it on videotape. Was he being taken advantage of? I wish I had been taken advantage of like that. What a memory she gave him. So we have that, guys. And moving on, it says, no joke. This is what Q references at the bottom of these pictures. No joke and or reference Epstein. No attempt to connect back to POTUS. Silence hunted. And guys, I went to his Twitter account, which is right here. And usually, anything that comes out about Q or Trump or anything related to Trump, he always has a tweet about it, something sarcastic. If you guys know Bill Maher, he's a complete douchebag. I would love to punch this guy in the face. This is like the last one he said here, July 9th. I find this very odd. He's talking about Trump. Wait, Trump's approval is at an all-time high. He's talking about Trump's approval ratings. He said, geez, it's good. I had this month off. I need time off to recharge my batteries. And he talks about his vaporizer that he uses to smoke weed, probably. But when I see this, I look at the dates. July 9th, Q posted, where is it? July 9th. And I just find it funny because Epstein is such a huge case right now. And we hear nothing from him, and he just so happens to be taking this month off. This is no coincidence. This guy has shown through his show as if he's getting ahead of the narrative. And another tweet that I found here, I screenshotted this. This was back in March 5th, 2015. He references Hillary's emails. I want to see Bill's. Hey Epstein, gas up the plane. Let's go to Sex Island. I want to be balls deep in a Russian whore soon. That was 4 years ago. So Q is obviously putting Bill Maher on notice here, and it's very odd because I follow Bill Maher when I heard about his possible connections to these child satanic rituals, and there's a lot of information on him with the red boots. You guys can look up that yourself. I'm not going to get into that on tonight's episode, but Q has obviously got him in the crosshairs. So moving on. The next drop we have here, also July 9th. Aerial video, Jeffrey Epstein private island. And Q says, welcome to Epstein Island. Ask yourself, is this normal? What does a temple typically symbolize? What does an owl symbolize? Dark religion? Tunnels underneath? How many channels captured in RC's picture? Again, this is referencing her Instagram picture, which we'll see in a couple minutes. Rooms indicate size. Hallways shown, class 1-99. Again, this is referenced. Symbolism will be their downfall. These people are evil. So guys, they're talking about an owl symbolization. Now, I'm going to show you a video of this drone that was, I think, let's see, where is it here? Before we can get into that, actually, when they're referencing these owls, I found that these owls are connected to this, I guess you could call it a satanic cult or whatever this is. It's called Moloch. And I looked it up. Moloch is the biblical name of a Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice. And that blew my mind. And what I'm referencing here is, this is Epstein's temple, which I've shown you guys multiple times now. There's these two owls on top of the temple. And you could see these things really far away. And Q is referencing here, what does an owl symbolize? And we do know that children were brought into there all the time doing this horrible, atrocious things. And Q references symbolism will be their downfall. So I'm going to show you guys this clip here. And let's see if I can find it. Where is it here? Here it is. This guy took drone footage on July 3rd of Epstein's Island. And I'm going to show you what's on here. And this is really some creepy stuff. So this looks like a clock, obviously. But it doesn't look like a normal clock, obviously. You got these painted rainbow benches and you know, drones just flying around and zooming in a little bit. Weird stuff, guys. It's weird stuff. So, as the drone moves on, it's got this weird area over here as well. It's flying. Who knows what this was at one point. It's got something. Something was leading to it. It's just a big open square. Who knows? Looks like it was dug out. It's got these weird circles on it. It could be, that could be anything, but the part where I really want to show you guys is when the drone flies over to the temple. And here's the temple. You got this weird cutout spot here, which I don't know what that is. We do know Epstein buried the tunnels underneath this temple. Q has referenced that many times because people brought their phones down there, and obviously people saw things that Epstein obviously didn't want anyone to get on their phone. So those are buried. Now, right here, guys, I want you to see. What do you notice that's missing from the top of these temples? Of this temple here. Remember the picture I showed you guys? Where is it? I gotta find it. These two owls, right here. This drone footage was taken on July 3rd, 2019. And as you can see, they are gone. And the drone keeps moving around. Right here, look. They are gone. Very odd. Why would they remove those? Very strange. And the drone gets down really low. Now, from what we know, there's an elevator inside this temple that goes to the underground, underground tunnels where these sex dungeons were. Where we know they did some kind of ritualistic sacrifices and all the terrible, atrocious things. And the drone gets down here and it takes a look. It's looking around, and it tries to get a good view inside. It's obviously looks like it's, I don't know what, maybe it was being reconstructed, maybe it was raided, I don't know. The Epstein tunnel wasn't raided, but it looks like it hasn't been taken care of in a little while, obviously. But this is what Q is referencing. This symbolism will be their downfall. These people are evil, and again, they reference those owls. So we're gonna keep looking, be on the lookout for that. But I saw that video footage, and I thought it was super interesting that the owls of all things were taken down off that temple. So very odd, but we have pictures, so there you go. So moving on, Flynn, or General Flynn, that's going to be another story for a different day. Q had referenced them a day before this drop, saying there will be Flynn news, and the day after, this is what we get. We have, do you believe in coincidences? And there was at least three articles, probably more than that, about Flynn. And Flynn is obviously one of the good guys. He was in a trial. He was originally going to be found guilty, but now the tables have turned and things are looking good for him. But that is another story for a different day. So moving on here, we have who visited Epstein Island on July 19, 2013. This is a big one, guys. So again, we have the pictures that Q keeps referencing here. This is Rachel Chandler's Instagram. This is a screenshot of what's underneath that temple I just showed you guys. This is supposedly here, you can see where my mouse cursor is, where there's naked people eating other people. And and also the sex dungeons and the bedrooms of which all these terrible things occurred. Now, Q says note 2013 on the bottom. Date is important. So we looked into this a little bit, and what we found was extremely disturbing. And I want you guys to see here real quick. I found a YouTube video from 2013, and it talks about Hillary Clinton covering up a pedophile ring at State Department. I'm not going to play the whole video, probably about 2 minutes of it. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick.
It's over here, and we are following this breaking news out of Washington. Some serious allegations this morning facing the State Department.
That's right. According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened.
And guys, just real quick, I want to reference this. I saw the date on this video on the, you can see on the borderline here, it says June 11th, 2013. Here we go.
An investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one ambassador. A State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials. On Monday, a State Department spokesperson will not confirm specific investigations.
I'm not going to talk about specific cases, but I can say broadly that the notion that we would not vigorously pursue criminal misconduct in any case is preposterous.
A former investigator for the department's inspector general has complained to Congress and the media that the investigations have not been thorough because of the pressure from those high-level officials.
We take every allegation of misconduct seriously and we look into it.
It was less than 6 months ago that another major internal investigation painted Hillary Clinton's State Department in a negative light. That scathing report on the failed diplomatic security procedures in the aftermath of the Benghazi attack.
What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened.
As we noted, the whistleblower in this case, a member of the Inspector General investigative team at the State Department, she's gone to Congress demanding an investigation, and it's our understanding Congressman Ed Royce, the leading Republican in House Foreign Relations, says he does plan on having an investigation, and no doubt hearings are probably going to come soon as well, Savannah.
So there you go, guys. What's really important about this is they said there was an ambassador that would routinely skip out and ditch a security detail to hang out with minors and prostitutes. And my boy here, Clandestine, who is an awesome anon, tweeted this: holy shit, the State Department ambassador who ditched the security detail to have sex with prostitutes and minors is Bill Clinton. The Obama administration and Clinton State Department covered it up, same time as the Rachel Chandler drop in 2013. The Clintons were there. And again, he references exactly what Q references here. Now, this must have been going on before July, but it's the date that counts the most. We're showing that was in June, that video that you just saw, but this is also happening in July. So, and we know from the logs for the Lolita Express that Bill Clinton did not go on that plane with his Secret Service security detail all the time. It was sporadic. So you have it here talking about a State Department ambassador. They don't ever give the person's name, and we know it's a male, and he would routinely ditch his security detail. Guys, the dots cannot be more obvious, and obviously you have Hillary here that covered it up. Obama knew about it. I don't know how else you could more easily explain this. So this is what Q is referencing. Note 2013 at the bottom, the date is important. So we're going to be moving on here. So, a little more off Epstein. Q kept dropping later into the day. This is a little bit disturbing. We're going to be talking about Planned Parenthood, and Q calls them out. So, I'll show the picture. I'll scroll up in a little bit, but this is what they're talking about. The Q drop reads as this. Reality is hard to swallow. Fake news keeps you asleep, sheep, and fixed in a pre-designed false reality. Google altering search results to support the pre-designed narrative and prevent, make harder for one to learn the truth. Those with influence who challenge the narrative are banned, shunned, threatened. Planned Parenthood is good, that's the narrative. China is not a threat, another mainstream media narrative. Do you know the market price for a fetus? Correlation of market price in days old of fetus/baby. As age days increases, so does the value. D's block, born alive bill. Dems. Planned Parenthood political donations. What party? What party would that be? The Democratic Party? No way. Do you believe this has anything to do with the woman's right to choose? Welcome to the real world. And guys, this is the narrative we always hear. Now, I told you, I'm a moderate. In some cases, abortion is good. There's things that happen, rape happens sometimes, unfortunately, and I can totally understand why a woman would not want to have a child in that regard. I have nothing against a woman's right to choose, you know, if she wants to have a child or not. That's completely up to her. But the shit that we're constantly fed is this is a woman's right to choose, right? And here's the disturbing picture. These are unfortunately fetuses. I don't want to show it too long, but these are baby fetuses that are being cleaned up. So I'm going to scroll up there because I do not want to get this my channel have a strike on it. But what I'm going to be diving into here is some articles. GOP senators demand DOJ update on Planned Parenthood fetal tissue probe. And we all know Trump issued his statement on this and wants this fetal tissue stuff from Planned Parenthood. You know, when a baby is aborted, Planned Parenthood is selling these body parts, making huge amounts of money on this stuff, and Trump wants to put an end to this. So as we go into the article here, here's what we read. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley have sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General William Barr and FBI Director Christopher Wray, demanding an update on the investigation into possible violations regarding the sale of aborted fetal tissue by Planned Parenthood and its partners in the biomedical research industry. They read, preventing the illegal sale of human fetal tissue remains a priority for the community. The letter stated, in furtherance of the committee's ongoing oversight of this issue, the committee asked that you answer the following questions no later than July 2nd. And the response was, in December 2017, Stephen Boyd, Justice Department Assistant Attorney General for Legislative Affairs, formally requested unredacted documents from the State Judiciary Committee's investigation into allegations that Planned Parenthood and its partners and biomedical companies engaged in the sale of body parts of aborted babies for profit. Guys, this is sick stuff. All the media wants to push out there is that, you know, Trump's against women. He is against women having a choice and all this. Guys, Planned Parenthood does not give a shit about women. You have to realize that. They are selling these babies for mucho dollars, big money, and they do make a lot of money. And as we scroll down here, the investigation concerned allegations of the sale of fetal body parts for profit that arose from an undercover video series expose by the Center for Medical Progress led by journalist David Deladian. And here we have a quote. I don't take lightly making a criminal referral, Grassley said in 2016, but the seeming disregard for the law by these entities has been fueled by decades of utter failure by the Justice Department to enforce it. And guys, Planned Parenthood has been around for a while. So you can imagine how many babies have been, you know, dead babies have been sold, and it's really, really just disturbing. And he also says, unless there is a renewed commitment by everyone involved against commercializing the trade in aborted fetal body parts for profit, then the problem is likely to continue. Based on its findings, the Judiciary Committee's majority staff report concluded that Planned Parenthood's partners in the biomedical procurement industry paid the abortion chain's affiliates for the body parts of aborted babies and then sold the fetal tissue to the respective customers at substantially higher prices than their documented cost. Guys, you know what this sounds to me? It sounds like fucking corruption. That's what it sounds like to me. And they're selling babies, dead babies, to make money. So, Q is calling them out. Rightfully so. So, moving on. We're going to skip the Mueller. We're going to get into Mueller a little bit later. Next topic here we have Democrats push for open borders and no voter ID so they can win elections with illegal votes. Q shows here a map, and it says, only when the election harms the Democratic Party will they claim foreign interference. Keyword foreign. What about domestic interference? Non-citizen votes by county, non-citizen promo by county, non-citizen org by county, targeted districts breakdown by non-citizen data, voter irregularities internal. -2, laws enacted in the battleground areas as tests for 2020 voter poll screening, review of non-votes. Democrat, ballot pop, track for sign, submit late for count, vote swing figures plus rule of law, new standard of no-show vote, SC of 2019, scope case, South Carolina. Why do Ds push for no voter ID in U.S. elections? Why do Democrats push for open borders? Find the connection. Sometimes a map helps. And the map's here. Let's see if it'll show here. It says the map where illegal immigrants live perfectly overlaps the blue counties where Democrats vote. And you can see here, guys, look at that. Illegals. These votes right here. So, we have that here. And, oh yeah, I totally forgot. This other article, guys, we're going to switch right back to Planned Parenthood. We're going to go back to the border. But, real quick, this came out just yesterday. A court ruled President Trump can defund Planned Parenthood will cut almost $60 million in taxpayer funding. Trump is going after Planned Parenthood. I can't believe I almost skipped over this, but here we are. It reads, a federal appeals court today ruled President Donald Trump can partially defend Planned Parenthood. Defund, not defend. Defund Planned Parenthood while the abortion business lawsuit against his administration, new rules moves forward. As Life News reported in March, the Trump administration finalized an administrative rule that would partially defund the Planned Parenthood abortion business and deprive it as much as $60 million in taxpayer dollars. This action adds to President Trump's record of defunding the Planned Parenthood abortion company. The administration changes to Title X family planning grants have angered the abortion chain Planned Parenthood, prompting a lawsuit, but they provide hope for life affirming pregnancy centers which can now compete with the abortion giant for federal funds. And they're saying this is devastating news. While we were incredibly concerned the panel did not recognize the harm of the Trump-Pence administration's gag rule, we will not stop fighting for the millions across the country in need for care. And guys, this is how these fuckers spin this stuff. They act like they care about the women. They do not care about the women. They care about getting those babies that they want aborted and selling them for huge profits. So Trump is going right after them and cutting their money by $60 million in taxpayer dollars. Huge, absolutely huge. But now going back to this, we're talking about the citizen question, the citizen on the census question. Now, the mainstream media was all over this, obviously, all over this. Again, calling Trump racist, calling their followers racist. You know, the usual, right? And let's see here. So, what I had seen was what, yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. My phone blew up. All the mainstream media articles were pushing this, that Trump was backing off the census question. I was like, what? What's going on with this? And what he had done was, that's all they were focused. Trump knew, because of the Supreme Court ruling, that he could not get the question on the census. So you know. And guys, this is where Trump got the media again, and all the Trump haters got egg on their face once again. So I remember seeing the census once, and you can easily lie and just put whatever you want on there. No one would ever know. So what did Trump do? He went through the Commerce Department, and here's some things on what that means. President Donald Trump is issuing an executive order that requires all federal agencies to submit pre-existing information about citizens and non-citizens to the Department of Commerce. The Census Bureau said it could figure out the citizenship status of 90% or more of the population through this move, Trump said. and that it would be more accurate than using the citizenship question on the census, he added. We will leave no stone unturned, he said. At the start of the press conference, Trump pretended to be someone asked if he was a citizen. So guys, I literally had gotten into so many, the trolls were coming at me so hard this week on social media saying, you know, Trump's a racist. Trump promised to get that question on the census, and look, he failed, he's a liar, and all this stuff. What these people do not realize is that Trump is playing the media all the time. His tweets are always for a reason. They're not just random. He's not sitting on a toilet tweeting every single day, as the media portrays him to be. He had gone through the Department of Commerce, and it's going to be more accurate because the Department of Commerce deals with things like food stamps. And I have a thread here by this guy. He's from the Epic Times, Brian Cates, and he references this. But a survey of government records, this will be far more accurate. How do I know this? And he goes into a story of how when he was in dire straits back when the economy tanked, he was trying himself to get food stamps. And let's see, he goes into it here. I just gotta find the tweet. Let's see. So, as I best can recall, to get about $200 worth of food stamps every month, I had to provide the Fed agencies with the following for their records: all bank account numbers, past work history of the previous 10 years, type, model, value of any vehicle I own. Of course, all the usual: driver's license, social security number, copy of my birth certificate, place of residence, if I owned or rented it, if owned, mortgage, amount of property taxes, value of the building, etc. All these things, guys, and this is just to get food stamps. All the other programs out there that you need to provide some kind of legal, you know, residency, you know, that you are a citizen, that is now going to be asked of anybody now. And think about it. If you just got a census and it said simply, are you a citizen, yes or no? What do you think they're going to just put? Yes, they're going to admit it? No, of course not. They're going to lie. It's what's been going on since the Supreme Court ruled against it. And it's genius. And again, people were saying, all the trolls were coming out saying, look, Trump lied. He didn't come through with his promise. But what they didn't realize is that what he actually put through in this executive order was better than what he was saying about the census in itself. So guys, again, yeah, own them like a freaking boss. It's so true. It's absolutely true. So we're going to be moving on here. Q talks about, you know, the fake news media. They're pretty much talking about how they're going to destroy the old guard, which is there in all caps. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. This was just another tweet I had screenshotted. It says, you know, President Donald Trump will issue an executive order requiring federal agencies to provide the Commerce Department information on citizens and non-citizens. American people have a right to know who is in their country. They absolutely do. Alright, so talking about the B-2 bomber proof, you guys can look that up yourself. I'm not going to really go into it here. And what do we got? Okay, court rules POTUS can defend against Planned Parenthood will call almost 60 million taxpayer. We already went over that. Q's talking to the other anons here about how they want to keep the way they post the same. Nothing to really go over that. And here is where we're going to begin again. Find the connection: Brofman, Rothschild, NXIVM, Mac, Epstein. Let's see. And here we have, how does LDR Rothschilds connect to the Brofmans? Find the bridge. Think Company, how is Brofman connected to NXIVM? Go backwards. NXIVM, who pleaded guilty? Allison Mack. When does a bird sing? It says, watch New York City, News on Mox 55. Now, I'm going to go into a tweet here. I just have to find it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys that in a second. Let's see. Yep, that's the island again. We don't need that. And this was just something, again, Google photos of Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton, previously available on Google. They were scrubbed. You know that already. And let's see. Here we go. So here we go. Claire Brofman. She was the one that funded the NXIVM sex cult. She was also the one that I believe was the, what's it called, Seagram's heiress. Claire Bronfman pleaded guilty for financing the NXIVM sex trafficking cult. Her brother shares a board seat with Lynn Day Rothschild, an investment firm that part owns a cement company called Cemex, a Clinton Global Initiative member. And guys, the Clinton Global Initiative member, I think it requires you to give them $5,000 to $10,000 to be part of the initiative. And there's a list, and you can actually see all the actors, the Hollywood actors, and any major player is on that list. And Johem, he's an awesome follow on Twitter, says, why do they need cement? And I'm going to pull up a tweet here that just came through just a second ago. I don't even know if I can find it. Nope, I lost it. It was pretty much talking about how IBM is connected to this cement company. So this is what they're talking about. Q is talking about related to Bronfman and the Rothschilds. So they're going after the Rothschilds, and we know that is an awesome thing. And again, it's talking about watch New York City and watch California. It says right here, watch New York City, watch California. So guys, Q is letting us know that there is going to be some news breaking about Allison Mack, who you guys can watch in my previous video about the NXIVM sex cult. I have a whole episode dedicated to that. Allison Mack was the Smallville Hollywood actor and the top recruiter for Keith Bernier's sex cult. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. Right here, watch New York and California. So what's crazy here is I woke up this morning, and what do we have? Where is this mother? We're going to be talking about R. Kelly. R. Kelly was arrested on federal sex charges. And guys, everyone knows this dude has a history. This guy was nailed for child porn and for child sex trafficking. And I'm going to have to find the video here. I've seen sex cult. She was also the one that I believe was the, what's it called, Seagram's heiress. Claire Bronfman pleaded guilty for financing the NXIVM sex trafficking cult. Her brother shares a board seat with Lynn Day Rothschild, an investment firm that part owns a cement company called Cemex, a Clinton Global Initiative member. And guys, the Clinton Global Initiative member, I think it requires you to give them $5,000 to $10,000 to be part of the initiative. And there's a list, and you can actually see all the actors, the Hollywood actors, and any major player is on that list. And Johem, he's an awesome follow on Twitter, says, why do they need cement? And I'm going to pull up a tweet here that just came through just a second ago. I don't even know if I can find it. Nope, I lost it. It was pretty much talking about how IBM is connected to this cement company. So this is what they're talking about. Q is talking about related to Bronfman and the Rothschilds. So they're going after the Rothschilds, and we know that is an awesome thing. And again, it's talking about watch New York City and watch California. It says right here, watch New York City, watch California. So guys, Q is letting us know that there is going to be some news breaking about Allison Mack, who you guys can watch in my previous video about the NXIVM sex cult. I have a whole episode dedicated to that. Allison Mack was the Smallville Hollywood actor and the top recruiter for Keith Bernier's sex cult. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. Right here, watch New York and California. So what's crazy here is I woke up this morning, and what do we have? Where is this mother? We're going to be talking about R. Kelly. R. Kelly was arrested on federal sex charges. And guys, everyone knows this dude has a history. This guy was nailed for child porn and for child sex trafficking. And I'm going to have to find the video here. I have so many. Alright guys, I'm going to play this right now. Here we go.
Here to go.
Where's my daughter is?
Same charge he
Kelly
had before.
is in there right now in jail. I want to know where my daughter is. Where is she at? Answer that question.
Miss Kelly was arrested yesterday.
Answer that question.
Walking his dogs yesterday.
Move.
After he walked his dogs, he was arrested. The Northern District of Illinois. Hold up a second. Hold up.
You was at the Trump Tower yesterday.
In the courses?
No meeting.
I was not at Trump Tower.
I said we was at Trump
I
Tower
wasn't there.
yesterday.
What they got to do?
She wasn't there. Well-being check.
Okay, so come on. I ain't moved nobody.
No, you a part of his camp, right?
I'm not a part of any camp.
Why are you speaking for him right now?
Hold on a second. Let me explain something to you right quick.
Are you speaking for
Let
him
me
right
explain
now?
something to you right quick, because I'm not going to allow you to come in.
Whew. So guys, this was the father of, again, Jocelyn Savage, who they think is being held by her will, probably because she's scared out of her mind, because he probably threatened her, God knows what. But this guy was the spokesperson, and it was just disturbing. And I thought it was really funny that this guy was walking his dogs, R. Kelly was, and he got arrested in front of Trump Tower. I don't think that's a coincidence. I just think that's awesome symbolism, and it was done for a reason. And it's just another sign that Q, again, is on top of this stuff, and the Patriots are in control. So that's going to be another pedophile taken down. I can't see him getting out of jail ever. Again, he was arrested for child porn and child sex trafficking. So, good luck with that there, buddy. Alright, so, let's see. Now, the other big one here we have, POTUS retweets account with video on secret pedo and human sacrifice rings. Let's see. So guys, you can see here, again, POTUS retweets account with video of secret pedo and human sacrifice rings. And Q links a tweet here. And when you click that, it brings you to this. Trump just retweeted an account dropped by QAnon whose name is Save the Littles. Their cover photo is of 2 children from an interview talking about secret pedo and human sacrifice rings being exposed. And this was out in the UK, guys. And I'll find the tweet here. Right here, it's called, again, Save the Littles, President Trump Best President Ever, MAGA 2020, and Donald Trump says thank you. Guys, Q and Trump are linked together. It's proven right here. And they even say, now what are the odds of that? Guys, I don't know how much more of a clear picture that can be painted, but anyways, we're almost done with the Q drops. Labor Secretary Acosta has stepped down. So again, that was Epstein's lawyer back in 2008. He is now stepping down, obviously, because he's getting so much pressure from the media because he was involved with it so long ago that he is completely just separating himself from it. So let's see. This is another post I'm not going to get into right now, talking about the New York Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Anons are still working on this one, trying to figure out what Q is talking about in regards to this foundation. The next one says, Wheels Up, Flight Logs Class 1-99 under investigation by FBI/DOJ. Now guys, this was related to a lot of the Epstein drops. You kept seeing the word Class 1-99 under investigation by FBI DOJ. So guys, pretty much what this drop is saying to me is that the FBI and DOJ, they have the flight logs obviously with all the names, and right now they're looking at 99 people that they're targeting. And guys, this is politicians, this is high-ranking, powerful elite. We've heard it's princes and princesses, British royalty, Arab princes, so many people. So this is going to bring the house down, and they're going to. Unfortunately, they can only investigate so many people at a time. But again, FBI has Epstein as well, and if he starts throwing names out, it's just going to increase that process and make the wheels of justice turn a little bit quicker. So, moving on, we're almost done. Mueller hearing delayed. What are the odds of that? The news came out today that Mueller was originally slated to have his press conference on the 17th, and now it's possibly being delayed to the 24th. The mainstream media is saying that it's because they want to prepare Mueller. Mueller wants to prepare more, and they want to get more questions, and it was just a bunch of BS. So the Q is obviously watching this. And the last one I want to go over, Q references this quote from this video, which I'm about to show you. Find out the people that went to the island. And this was the president. Anons know. So here we go here.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, and you watched people yesterday saying that I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago. It shows you one thing, that I have good taste, okay? Now other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island. They went all over the place. He was very well known in Palm Beach. His island, whatever his island was, wherever it is, I was never there. Find out the people that went to the island. But Jeffrey Epstein was not somebody that I respected. I threw him out. In fact, I think the great James Patterson, who's a member of Mar-a-Lago, made a statement. Yes.
There it is, guys. Find the people that went to that island. That is the key. That is the key to all that. You could tell he changed his posture a little bit. Again, Q posted Anon's no. Alright. So that's all I'm going to be doing for Q. The last two stories I want to get into. This was crazy. U.S. authorities in Philadelphia seized a cargo vessel in June with nearly 20 tons of cocaine on board. The ship, as it turns out, was owned by a fund run by banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase. That means J.P. Morgan Chase does not have any operational control of the vessel, a Liberian flagged ship that is run by the Swiss-based Mediterranean shipping company. The bank had no comment. Law enforcement agents boarded the MSC Cayenne on June 17th and found the cocaine, which is said to have a street value of $1.3 billion. I hope we get some more information on this, guys. Everyone knows the banks are corrupt, and of course they say they don't have any operational control of the vessel, but yet it's owned by them, and it had $1.3 billion worth of cocaine on it. There's got to be some links there, but we'll see if anything comes about that. So the last article I want to get into is by none other than Dr. Michael Salla. You guys need to look him up. He is legit. He has written about the secret space programs. And again, I'm going to be probably doing a whole series on the secret space programs. It's just there's been so much going on with Q and the news, and with Epstein breaking this, it just took over everything. But this is basically talking about the U.S. Navy being granted a patent on theoretical aircraft resembling recently reported UFOs. And I find this hilarious because the people that know about these secret space programs know that this anti-gravity technology that is talked about in this article has been around probably since the 50s, of at least where it started to be re-engineered. People that don't know, alien craft did crash in Roswell, but that's where they all leave it at. And they talk about little green men. It's all complete distraction. The craft that they found was, again, re-engineered. They re-engineered the alien craft and learned the anti-gravity technology, which isn't fuel. And it talks about this. It says a hybrid craft, it would be capable of flying through air, water, and even space. The description of the craft is eerily similar to a string of UFOs described by fighter pilots. And guys, one of my first videos I had talked about the Navy making it easier for the Navy members themselves to report UFOs, and this is not a coincidence. And again, they talk about force field fending off incoming asteroids on these craft. And guys, I think it was 2 videos ago, I talk about the patent that was released publicly on the craft that's called the TR-3B. It's a triangular craft that uses anti-gravity technology. This is not something that humans came up with. And again, you guys need to really research the secret space program. Watch Above Majestic, the documentary. That documentary alone started me on this path of what I'm doing now, because the technology that's been suppressed from us from mankind is just unbelievable. I'm going to get into that more in a different video, but I want to show you this last Q drop that I always love referencing from September 19, 2018. Anon asked, did NASA fake the moon landings? Have we been to the moon since then? Are there secret space programs? Is this why the Space Force was created? False. Moon landings are real. Programs exist that are outside of public domain. Q. So, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in aliens, don't believe in ETs. I can reassure you right now, there are secret space programs that have been going on since the 50s. Watch Above Majestic, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's absolutely insane what's going on. So, that's where I'm going to end it tonight, guys. Sorry this was kind of a mishmash of a ton of information. I could not keep up with it this week. Hope I did my best to try to convey this content. I've had a long week myself. I am exhausted. I drank a cup of coffee before I did this. I started doing this. I'm shot. But I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Again, I love what I'm doing here. I've had so many people ask me about Q this week. I've probably talked about a solid 10 people about QAnon, and they were all positively receptive to it. And that's all I'm doing here, guys. Again, I am just trying to bring truth to people. I'm not trying to change political views, anything like that. If Trump was with the Democrats, I'd be talking about the Democrats being awesome, but that's not the case right now, obviously. And again, I was a person that hated Trump just a year ago, but I started researching. I found Q, watched Above Majestic, and it all clicked, and here I am. So give this a like and subscribe, share it with everybody that you know, and I will be back probably next week to do more content and videos. Until then, stay woke.